and I'm with you with the era of ABFM. Okay, everyone. First of all, I hope your Holi went well, and I hope you have already enrolled into our courses yet. If you haven't, then please go ahead and check out our courses. The courses are available at a good discount right now, and that too, I think, let me show you the website first for that. I'll show you the entire part for that particular area. Along with this, one important thing when we talk about our courses, then I would say that I think I'll be starting with another batch of ABFM very soon. Then if you haven't started with your ABFM and you are looking forward towards your CIIB preparation, then check out my ABFM batch, which is starting soon. And secondly, our CIIB batches have just started in February, so all the subjects would be available to you in the fresh batches as well. So if you are planning, then kindly do not delay. Every single moment that you are spending right now is super duper important, right? Chaliye then, everyone, we are looking at our victory series. Here comes the first question, everyone. Today, I think most of the questions I'm going to take up on the basis of odd man out. That is, on the basis of which is correct and which is incorrect. Which of the following statements is not correct regarding the preference capital, everyone? What do you mean by preference capital? There are two bodies, equity and preference. है ना? Equity share capital is the elder kid who's the responsible one for sure. But we have a spoilt brat called preference shareholder. The preference shareholders gets a fixed amount of money from the business and they are able to grow on the basis of the risk that they are reducing or mitigating. So that's about this area. Plus, everyone, if you like this particular session, please share it among your peers, and if you like it, then also click on the like button. Okay, then preference shares are preferred over equity shares in terms of dividend payment and repayment in case of liquidation. The dividend rate of preference shares is variable, similar to common stock. Preference shares are entitled to dividend if distributable profits are available. Redeemable preference shares are required to be redeemed within a period of not exceeding 20 years. That's true. In India, it cannot exceed 20 years. The preference dividend are entitled to dividend. That is true. If we have a profit only, then we can give them. And the dividend rate is variable. No. These people are not risk takers. So technically, they are never looking for this. So the correct answer is the dividend rate of preference shares is variable, similar to common stock. This is wrong. Next question. Which of the following is not correct regarding term loans? Why am I giving these kind of questions? But the maximum mistakes happen in this area. The reason is that people tend to avoid this entire tough part. Ki not correct, correct. Array, we have to go through all the options. So this is the challenging part of these kind of questions. The term loans are generally granted for short terms to long term, with short term loans repaid within 1 year. Term loans are primarily used to finance intangible assets such as software development. Long term loans are typically granted for periods ranging from 5 to 10 years. Term loans can be utilized to acquire tangible assets like land and building, plant and machinery. Which one is not correct? I think the last one is absolutely correct. It is for 5 to 10 years only. Term loans are primarily used for intangible assets, or term loans are for short term to long term. The point is, these cannot be, the term loans are primarily used for financing intangible. They are not for the intangibles for sure. They are there for everything. Financial, non-financial, looking forward towards the growth of the organization, you have to risk it, right? What do you think, everyone? There is nothing point of tangible and intangible specifically. It is for both, and it is required by both. Okay, this is a long question. This kind of question can always be expected in the examination. Which of the following statements about the term loan is true based upon the provided paragraph? Okay, you've got A, B, C, and D. I think that's converted into pointers. So there are the pointers, everyone. One, A, B, C, and D. Which one is correct? Take a moment and read the question first. What's going to be the answer? Chaliye, let's look at the question carefully. The question says, the term loans are generally more expensive to service compared to working capital finance. Long-term loans are typically granted for a period of 5 to 10 years. Similar point was given earlier, so this one must be correct. Short-term loans are preferred for projects with long gestation period and slow cash generation. There's a slow cash generation. How will we repay the debt, everyone? The term loans can be repaid, can be utilized to acquire intangible assets. We have done this part as well. It is not only for this part, it is for a broader one. 2 and 3 are correct, 1 and 4 are correct, only 2 is true, or only 3 is true. The answer is 3 is true. Pakka 3 is true. Short-term loans are preferred for projects with long gestation periods. Long gestation, actually the opposite. The answer 3 is not correct. B is correct. Acha, C part is only 2 is correct. Acha, just a moment. I got the mistake. The answer is only 2 is true. The answer is actually C, not D. The point is long-term loans are from 5 to 10 years, but term loans are less expensive. If you are taking short-term loans, they are more expensive. And short terms, if used for long gestation periods and slow cash generation cycles, these loans will not be able to help us in the worst time of the organization. Now, how will we repay them? So it has to be 2, not 3. Okay. Next question. Which of the following about the term loans is true on the basis there? Term loans always carry a variable interest which fluctuates with market conditions. Not really. Sometimes we have fixed, sometimes we have floating. It depends upon you. Loans are generally repaid in one lump sum payment rather than installments. No. If there are term loans, we are normally paying it in installments. It's easier. Collateral securities are never obtained. If we do not take a security, how will we survive in the market? The appraisal process of term loans does not include the examination of economic viability and technical feasibility. Everyone, which one is true? Wese, if we talk about the term loans, there's one more point. Just like debentures, we can actually take it for one particular period and we might repay after 10 years. That part is definitely possible. But I think the last point will choose it. Na? The appraisal process of a term loan does not include examination of viability and technical viability. I'm looking at something that I want to study for 10 years, 15 years. I need to check the viability of it. Matlab, is it possible even or not? If it is not possible, why would I take the risk? Right? Taking the risk will not help me at all. So technically, I think if I have to look at the point there, the correct answer is actually only 2 can be true. Debentures and all, they are repaid by the end. They're not paying during the installments at all. They might be paying in lump sum altogether. Take the payments after the long projects are over, where there is a long gestation period. When those long gestation periods are over, then obviously you have got your money back and then you can repay. Why do you want to face a crunch during the time when you are already struggling to complete the project? You know, which of the following is not correct regarding the term loans? The term loans carry a fixed and predetermined rate of interest. Loans are, actually, this is very similar to the question that we did, but 2, 3 more points are there. In many cases, term loans are granted without any security or collateral. The amount of loan is determined solely on the basis of debt equity ratio. ऐसा हो सकता है क्या? It can only depend on debt equity ratio. And if I talk about the next part, in many cases, term loans are granted without any security. Term loans, long term loans. If I have to buy a car now, then my car is under hypothecation. You know, the hypothecation has to be cancelled the moment I got it. I have repaid the entire amount, isn't it? So, isn't see the answer? In many cases, the term loans are granted without any security or collateral. This cannot be the point, na? Just eliminate the points. That is the basic purpose of dealing with a specific area of sources of finance today, that is loans. In the last class, I've taken area of the cost of capital, only the preference and equity. Na? Today, we are doing a part of preference and more of equity. Sorry, more of loans. Done, everyone? Chali, among the following, which is true and which is not true? The interest rate of the term loan is solely based upon the credit rating. Acha. The loans are typically repaid in one lump sum. The appraisal process of term loans does not include examination. The term loan against current assets are provided to mitigate temporary liquidity problems. Normally, when we talk about this area, D is not true. Term loans are not never on the basis of your current situation. It is based upon your total earnings. Na? How can we say it is based upon your current situation? That doesn't make sense. That's one particular thing. Which of the following is not typically included in loan agreement? This is the area which we are changing the particular area, everyone. Everyone? Hanchi? Which of the following is not typically included in a loan agreement? Reconstitution of the board, infusion of additional funds by the promoter, submission of quarterly data and annual audited financial statements, and provision of free shares to the lenders. Which of the following is not typically? See, loan agreements does not include provision of free shares to the lenders. Who gives free shares to the lenders? It's like the people who are a liability, we are ready to give them equity without anything. Free shares is something we can give them convertible shares, but that convertible shares is one of the lenders of last resort. देखिए, if I'm not able to pay you, then is it possible that I give you shares? है ना? That's what we can do. Done, everyone? That particular thing definitely happens in the organization, na? Then comes next question. Among the following, which action would typically require prior consent and approval of the lender according to the loan agreements? Routine maintenance of company premises, appointment of compliance officers, equity expansion or dilution or participation in the industry conferences. Which of the following is require prior consent of the lender. See, routine maintenance is not something which is a part of their agreement. But if you are looking forward towards expansion, if you are looking at delusion, the lender is going to ask you which particular amount are you using. Are you using my money or are you using yours? The question is gonna be there, है ना? What kind of money are you using for this purpose? Isn't it, everyone? Chaliye. Now coming to the next question. Hanji, next question, everyone. Look at this. Which of the following statements regarding long-term loans is true? Borrowers lose control over the shareholding and management. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता. Long-term loans are considered risk capital with variable cost. वैसे तो there is one problem that we have to pay them, so there is a financial burden क्योंकि we have to earn money ना. If we won't earn, how will things work out? That's one particular truth. Right? These people are gonna eat our head if I take a loan and I do not make efforts to pay back the loan, my rating will go down, and the next time I will be looking forward towards loan, the person who's lending me money will be reluctant कि भैया you do not really work upon these things, so I'm sorry, I will not help you. है ना? So repayment over a long term period is more expensive due to inflation. Um, it can be, it cannot be. To be very honest, it can be very expensive if there is an inflation in the market. And if there is no inflation in the market, probably we'll be in a better situation altogether. Then comes interest paid on long term loans is tax deductible. This is actually a point which is of a doubt. This part is definitely not true. It's not with variable, it is fixed cost. And you do not lose your control. Let's see. Obviously, then either I'm going for C or D. Interest paid on long-term loans is tax deductible, resulting in lower cost compared to post-tax dividend payments. Okay, let me see. The moment we pay interest, our profit is less because of tax deduction. You get a profit. Once you get this profit, whatever is left, this profit is something we use for equity, first of all preference and then equity. Otherwise we make huge profit. If there is no interest, then we pay higher tax. So whatever is left for equity is technically lesser, because first of all preference shareholder will take and then our equity will be left behind. So in this case, tax deductibility is one of the basic reasons that the organizations are taking loans and they are ready to take loans. The reason is this is happening only in this area. A tax deduction will reduce your taxable income, है ना? So if the taxable income is less, then your tax is also less. Last question, everyone. What is that one benefit of submitting timely data as required by the lender? I think my lender is gonna be happy about it. Okay, and I'll make the payment in advance. It restricts the borrower decision-making process. I don't think it does, because if I'm giving the information before time, he'll be happier with me. It increases the borrower's borrowing cost. No, it cannot do that. If I'm giving the data in advance, he would be at least satisfied कि I have money, or he might get stressed overall कि you don't have money at all, right? It helps the management develop better systems and evaluate performance. This can be true, because once the organization knows कि this is the organization, and it reduces the convenience of fixing repayment. Actually, it increases the fixing repayment area. Once the organization is submitting all the information, this is what we earn, this is what happens, XYZ, all the information is already updated, the banker will not be worried about us. है ना? He'll be really happy कि ठीक है ना, the person is paying us money, he is getting enough money, why to worry? So in this case, why to worry? It helps the management develop better systems and evaluate performances. because acknowledging the debts and able to pay it in time is the most important area. Hello everyone, welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Walia Bhatnagar and I am with you with the area of Advanced Business and Financial Management. I hope we are doing good everyone, and we have been looking forward towards our classes as well now. So if you have seen the ABFM classes yet, then it's good, but if you haven't, then you should definitely go ahead and check out the ABFM sessions that I'm taking currently, right? So first of all, please share the session, like the session, and if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, then please hurry up and subscribe to the channel right away. Chaliye. So everyone, first of all, what is it that I'm going to talk about? Today I'm going to talk about startup finance. We have taken up module D altogether. So I'm talking about the module D further. We're going to talk about startup finance. What is startup finance, everyone? One of the basic things that startup finance does is that, pata hai, in many organizations, one thing happens that the startups, they don't get the help of the government, they don't get the exposure, they never got the contacts. So ultimately, for these organizations to start an organization was a hectic task. It was a heavy task. So the government said that no, let's help them out. So they started helping these organizations by providing them not only the financial assistance but also the technical assistance, and also provided the tax advantages of starting a particular organization. Here comes the first question. The first question says, what is the objective of Inspire Awards Manak program? Basically, the reason that awards were introduced was to excite as well as motivate our startups, because once you start up an organization, and then you should really get that particular partner, you should be getting the love and affection of the society for whatever you are doing. The appreciation is something which everybody is always looking forward to, so they were also looking forward to the same. Who? The startups. So to encourage the young people between the age of 10 to 15, recognize the people in the field of science and technology, to foster creativity and innovation among the students who are aged between 10 to 15, or to provide financial assistance to school for infrastructure development. What should be the answer, everyone? Basically, this is done to foster the creativity and innovation in terms of the kids who are between 10 to 15 years of age. The answer is C. So this Inspire Award is basically given so that they can actually motivate the kids. Okay, now let's move on to the next point. What is the purpose of National Startup Award, everyone? The next award that we're going to talk about is National Startup Award. To recognize and reward excellence in the field of education, to encourage the startups to expand internationally, to recognize and reward excellent startups and ecosystems enablers contributing to the economic ecosystem by stimulating innovation and completion, to provide financial assistance to startups for research and development. Everyone, what's going to be the answer? The answer is basically National Startup Award 2021 was started to recognize other startups which are providing in terms of innovation as well as competition. Done? The answer is C again. Done, everyone? So this is the answer C. What types of startups are considered good in terms of startup awards? The startups with high turnovers, or the startups with minimal impact to the society, the startups with groundbreaking technologies or solutions, scalable businesses. Scalable means which can be growth which can be expanded further. Ventures having a measurable positive effect on the society and startups with the focus of traditional business model. Traditional business models are not the one. I'm sorry. We're looking forward to the crazy change in the impact of the entire world altogether. Startups are basically given that particular importance because of this reason, that there is a stronger feeling that these organizations will be extraordinarily good. You know, the answer is C. The answer is C. Next point. Okay, everyone, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, then please hurry up and subscribe to our channel, because we are coming up with so many new things for all the people who are preparing for CAIIB for July. We are coming up with different classes. We are coming up with special sessions. We are coming up with PDFs. We are coming up with new classes, as well as in terms of paid batches, new batches are also coming up. So I think when you're preparing for CAIIB, you should definitely be ready for the adventurous the journey that is about to start, and it has already started. Even for the people who had already joined, Jan batch was there, and next batches were also there. There were so many batches which were introduced in ABFM in terms of, sorry, entire CIB. We're talking about ABFM. Yes, there had been multiple batches. So if you're planning, then these all are available for you on our platform. Please hurry up and enroll yourself right away. Achha, everyone, next point. What are the some categories of National Startup Award? Global problems only, building businesses that are sustainable and responsible only, delivering measurable development gains only, providing solutions to real problems and challenges, developing innovative technologies, solutions, and products from India and the rest of the world, or building scalable and sustainable finances. What's going to be the answer, everyone? What's going to be the answer? The answer is actually D. These organizations are making the groundbreaking differences. When you are making important differences, only then things can change. Na? Nothing will happen. So you have to bring up something innovative. You have to bring up something which is very different and has been impacting our economy a lot. You know? Something which will impact our economy is very important. So startups make a difference because they come up with something really different. Done. How is the process of incorporating a company in India been modernized? By increasing the number of days required, by increasing the number of procedures, then by decreasing the number of procedures and days, and by increasing the number of steps involved. Well, so this cannot happen, that we cannot really work upon increasing the number of days, because if it is going to take a lot of time to develop our business, then there would be multiple problems. No? This is definitely not good. So everyone, what's going to be the answer? You cannot increase the number of days. Yes, you would like to reduce the number of days by decreasing the number of procedures and the days in terms of incorporation. If it's going to take a lot of time, then I will be definitely confused and I would be under so much of pressure. Why am I not able to do the things? है ना? Everyone? Done? Chaliye, let's look at the next question, everyone. What is the primary objective of WING, Women Capacity Development Program? See, women entrepreneurs have definitely increased, but in the last few years, there hasn't been a significant amount of women entrepreneurs. So, what do they do for them? And how does Wing 2014 helps them? I think Wing started there only. Wing is basically an organization which is specifically helping women. Everybody, what's going to be the answer? To provide financial assistance to women-led businesses, to increase the awareness of women-led business, to promote traditional business run by women, or to discourage entrepreneurship. You are not discouraging these entrepreneurships. So technically, you are bringing up something big in the market. You are increasing the awareness about women-led businesses, and at this point of time, women-led businesses have also increased a lot. They haven't decreased. Done, everyone? Chaliye, then let's move on to the next question. How are communications for female entrepreneurs backed by lending and venture funding arranged? By inviting female entrepreneurs to apply for grants, by accepting the applications from Startup India Hub, and shortlisting the women entrepreneurs for meeting with SIDBI, by providing free marketing services to female, or by offering tax incentives. The basic thing that they had been doing is that they had been accepting the Startup India Hub. In this Startup India Hub, when women entrepreneurships were entering, they were giving them incentives, they were giving them discounts, they were helping them to get the loans. The assistance that is being provided is one of the basic areas that people there, they're still acknowledging it. Right? What is Swayat and what's the purpose of Swayat? It's basically a virtual marketplace for women-led business, or a designated area where the startups can set up their shops and sell their goods. The program to provide furniture assistance to the startups, or a government initiative to discourage startups from participating in e-commerce. Government would never want that the organizations are not participating. So there's one particular point, they will never discourage them. So Swayat is actually about a designated area for the startups to set up shop and sell their wares. Okay? They're looking forward towards these organizations which can actually provide and sell their things and make good money out of it. Done, everyone? Let's move on and talk about the next part. What opportunity does the DPIIT provide for startup regarding market trials as well as the government buyers? Everyone, what's going to be the answer? Startups can conduct the market trials up to 6 months with government buyers. Startups can conduct trials within nearly 3 months. Startups can conduct trials within a period of 1 year, or startups cannot conduct the market trials. They are required to do the market trials. How will they find out whether they have good money or not? Whether their product has a caliber or not? The moment they find out their caliber, then things are different. So in this case, startups can conduct market trials. they can conduct, है ना? With the government bias, they can conduct these trials. They can find out whether the payment is being made, whether it is being respectful or not. If this is being respectful, then it's good, isn't it? What if the startup products or services obtained at least three variable evaluations during the market trials with the government buyers? The answer is the startup will be discontinued. Startup will be pushed as a full-time seller on the platform beyond the runway page, or startups will be required to conduct additional market trials, or the startup will lose its eligibility for the future government contracts. They have at least got three favorable evaluations. If you have got three evaluations which are favorable, that means the startup will be pushed to a full-time seller. That if it is turning favorable, that means the startup has some caliber. If the government is backing it up, it can grow further. If it can go further, then people can make more money out of it. है ना? So whatever the returns are, government will also make money, and such organizations will make money as well. So in this case, the answer is B. Done. Last question for the day, everyone. What functions are assigned to innovation zones? Recognizing significant challenges and research needs only, investigating novel approaches to resolving challenges only, assisting with idea development, validation, and acquisition of eligible items, processes, solutions, among other tasks, or establishing connections with commercial incubators and research organizations only. The answer is C. Assisting the idea development, validating it, acquisition of eligible items, processes, and even the solutions, among other tasks. Today, I am doing Victory series is going on. As you already know, the previous series was individual chapters, and this is basically a blend of multiple chapters. So, with this particular thing, first of all, if you like this session, then please like it, share it among your peers, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done it yet. This is all about our series, everyone. Today I'm covering the module B portion. Since I am done with the blended questions of module A, now I'm moving on to module B. The most important chapter, I feel personally, of the book is sources of finance, because this particular chapter opens up the area of not only the module B entirely, but it also opens the scope of understanding module C followed by module D. So this particular chapter is very, very important as per the examination point of view, as well as to cover the basics of all other chapters followed by this chapter, right? So as such, module A is separate, but module B, C, and D, they are connected to each other. That's the Victory series, everyone. Here comes the specific area. Okay, everyone, let's move on. What is the primary feature of equity shares? It represents the initial investment made by the promoter. It is divided into equity shares. It is owned solely by the promoter. It is amount remaining after selling all the assets and paying off all the liabilities. What's going to be the answer according to you? Everyone? What's going to be the answer? Chale, let's move on. Look at the answer. It is divided into equity shares. Equity capital is converted into equity shares. Okay? Done? Chaliye. Now let's move on to the next question. What do you mean by the nominal value of each equity share? The value determined by the promoter, the value set by the stock exchange, the value for all equity shares or market value of the share. Nominal value is the one which is basically given in the books of accounts, but in the company's accounts we show it there. What's going to be the answer? The nominal value is actually same as for all equity shares. This is the book value, everyone. Nominal value is the book value of the particular thing. Okay? This is the book value. Chaliye then, let's move on to the next point. What are the financial rights of an equity shareholder, everyone? Financial rights of an equity shareholder. Equity shareholder has the right to participate in voting, a right to appoint board of members, right to control company operations. They can dictate company policies, or right to income, dividend, or right to retain surplus in case of liquidation. I wish this C point would be there, but this is one of the major points which they do not possess at all. You know, or do they? Right to income or dividend and right to retain surplus assets in case of liquidation. Practically, though, what happens is, let me tell you about liquidation, everyone. When the liquidation happens, at that point of time, first of all, the government comes and government asks for their pending amounts. So first of all, you pay to the government. Then you pay to the debts that you have taken. Then you pay to your preference shares. Whatever is left goes to equity. So I think in the theoretical part, it looks really good that they have the right to income, receive dividend. Again, this is the leftover after the preference shares are paid. So yes, they receive income or dividend, but only if they have ample of income that they can receive the amount. And yes, even at the time of liquidation, if the company has enough, only then they will get it. Right to income or dividend, right to retain the surplus assets in case of liquidation. That's the answer. Then, next question. How can equity shareholders exit their investment, everyone? By selling shares to an interested party, by transferring shares to the family members, or by redeeming shares directly from the company, or converting them into debt securities. I think the converting them into debt is simply a point which I think I won't really look forward to. The point is, why to become an outsider when you are insider? Everyone? Isn't it? That's one particular thing that really happens now. What do you think the answer is going to be? Then we talk about exit their investments. When you want to leave the organization, you will just sell off your assets to someone else. In terms of a public company, you will give this asset to someone else. You know? This is what we'll do now. The answer is by selling shares to an interested party. Then everyone, you will just give up your shares and give it to some other party. It's not about anybody else, but I think it is of no use to become a debt of the company. If you want to, then you won't give up your equity and then buy debt. What is the maximum amount of capital that a company is authorized to issue? Maximum amount of capital, paid up, issued, authorized or nominal, or share premium. Paid up is the amount that people have paid. Issued matlab the shares which have been issued to them. Authorized or nominal is the one which has been authorized to them, which they have taken permission for. If this is the one they have taken permission for, then what's going to be the answer, everyone? The answer is going to be the maximum permission that you have taken for. Authorized capital, nominal capital, or this capital is also known as registered capital. Next question. which part of the issued share capital represents the portion subscribed to by the public? Subscribed shares, called up share, paid up, or calls in arrears? Calls in arrears means the amount which the people are not paying, which means this is the amount which is actually pending. Paid up means the amount which they have actually paid. Called up means the amount which the company has asked people to pay. While subscribed is basically the one which they have taken. So I think this question itself is very self-explanatory. The portion subscribed to by the public is subscribed share capital, right? That is subscribed share capital. Paid up share represents the amount of money a company has received from shareholders in the exchange of shares, the portion of shares subscribed by the public, the part of capital, called up capital, that has been collected from the shareholders, or the amount determined as unpaid by the management. Paid up share capital. Paid up share capital means the part which the people see. First of all, the company will issue. Public, do you want to buy the shares? People will say, yeah, I want to. That is called subscribed. Once people have taken up your share, that is subscribed. On the subscribed, the next part is paid up. The amount people pay. And if they do not pay, then it is called calls in arrears. If they pay in advance, that is called calls in advance. Then what's going to be the answer? Paid up share capital represents the amount of money the company has received from shareholders in exchange for shares. So company is issuing shares and company is getting payment for that. The amount. है ना? Done? Done everybody? चलिए. Let's move on to the next question. What is the drawback of raising funds through equity compared to the other sources? Low cost of raising funds, higher expectations of returns from shareholders, higher cost of capital, or low risk of for investors. See, there is no low risk. But at the same time, people really do not expect the higher returns as well. Sometimes they're just putting money so that they can get a dividend or they can make a capital gain. Capital gain matlab they'll hold this and later on they will sell it. They're looking forward to that particular area. Okay. Then higher cost of capital is definitely there. This is one of the major problems. Why? Voting rights are with these people. है ना? We give the voting rights to the equity shareholders. So these people are slightly dangerous for the organization. How are they so dangerous? Simple reason that organization is looking forward towards, okay, if there's equity and there is debt, the company raised the money through debt, put it in a project, the project grew like anything. These people became happy with that fact that the project is growing. They made immense amount of profit. The immense profit is first of all used to pay the interest and principal, and obviously we still have a lot of money left, who will get the remaining amount? This unlimited amount will go to equity, everyone, because and then equity shareholder will always be asking for more and more, despite the fact sometimes he's not the one who's raising funds and giving funds to the company for growth. This money is basically raised by the debt and grown by the debt. Equity shareholder will come and say, Arre, I am the one who's taking the credit risk now. If the company is unable to pay, then this is going to put my investment on stake. So technically, I am the one who would be hit. What is the drawback of servicing equity capital compared to debt? Dividends to equity holders are tax deductible expenses. Dividends to equity holders are paid from post-tax profits. Interest on loan increases tax liability. Servicing equity capital results in lower overall capital. What is the drawback of servicing equity? But the equity shareholders have one problem. No doubt they get leftover, and if the leftover is a significant amount, they're really happy. Dividends to equity shareholders are actually not tax deductible. This is one particular area. Dividends to equity shareholders are paid from the post-tax profits. This is correct. After the company has got their income, they have paid their interest. Whatever is left from that amount, they pay to them. This is a post-tax profit. There is no interest on loan increases the tax liability. No. Interest on loan basically reduces tax liability because debt interest, not equity, but debt interest is tax deductible. Servicing equity results in lower cost of capital. Nope. So in this case, dividend to equity shareholders is only and only after tax. Actually, after tax, after making payment to the preference shareholder, whatever is left goes to our equity shareholder. What are retained profits usually referred to as in context with internal accruals, everyone? Non-cash profits, post-tax profits, profit after tax, or called PAT, or cash profits, everyone? What are retained profits usually referred to? Retained profits are the profits which the company makes a profit called the profit after tax. First of all, before tax is earning, before interest and tax, you pay interest and then you pay tax and you get profit after tax. From this profit after tax, what you do is you have paid, then you pay the preference shareholders, then you pay the equity shareholders. So retained profits is after making payments to all these people. Still, we have got a little money in our hands that can be used by the organization for future. That is called retained earnings. This is actually called the internal accrual or savings of the organization. That is non-cash profit, post-tax profit, profit after tax, or cash profit. What's going to be the answer? Profit after tax. Or from this, we deduct everything else. है ना? Done? Let's look at the next part. What is the distinguishing feature of preference share compared to equity? Preference share are the spoiled brats of the organization. They are paid first while equity is paid last. Matlab, think about it. In terms of the organization, the risk takers are ultimately equity. Whatever is left goes to equity. They live on leftovers. ठीक है ना? Preference shareholders have higher voting rights. Preference shareholders receive fixed dividends. Preference shareholders have priority on liquidation over secured debts. No, debts are the first. First of all, we'll be making payments to the people who have given loans to the organization. They have more importance technically. Preference shares are more volatile in the market. Not really. These people, I think I'll go for preference shares once I'll be retiring. at the age of 50, 60, now people go for it. Equity is something that you put today and you will be keeping it for your retirement when you want to invest somewhere or do something else, because those are to be held for a long period. Preference and debt is basically the ones which are giving you safer amounts in the upcoming future. Preference shareholders have higher voting rights. No, they do not have any voting rights at all. They get voting rights if the company is defaulting from the last 2 years to make dividend payment. So technically, preference shareholders receive fixed dividends. This is the basic reason I said I think I'll be keeping it for my retirement time. Yeah, you'll be keeping it once you are. What is the primary objective of SCO startup? Forum. What's the particular benefit of this, everyone? To facilitate communication and collaboration, okay, among the stakeholders in the startup environment from all SCO member states, or to promote the specific entrepreneurship and innovation exclusively in India, or to establish knowledge exchange ecosystems globally, or to boost scaling prospects by providing solutions in various fields. What's going to be the answer, everyone? When we talk about the SEO Startup Forum, what does it do? It does this, to facilitate the communication and collaboration among the stakeholders in the startup environment from all SEO member states. Done, everyone? Chaliye. How has the system of for incorporating a company in India has been modernized? Incorporation time has reduced. The downtime, which was earlier very much, has now definitely reduced, and even the winding up takes a very less time. Everyone, how has the system of incorporating a company in India been modernized? By reducing the number of days from 18 to 4, or 10 to 3, or no steps involved, or the last one is by extending the incorporation process by 220 days. Done, everyone? What's going to be the answer? What's going to be the answer? The answer is it has been reduced from 18 to 4 days only. That means you can build up such companies, and without much trouble, these hassle-free organizations can be created. Chaliye, let's look at the next question. How are communications for female entrepreneurs facilitated under the Wing program? Wing program is basically created specifically for women entrepreneurs. What happens with Wing is basically an organization which is women oriented. And everyone, what's going to be the answer? Through direct financial grants or through partnership with lending and venture cap funding, through specialized training programs or through government sponsored. When we talk about Wing program, now Wing program was specifically introduced for women-led businesses. They wanted the women to come up and they get more exposure. So in this case, that was through partnership with lending and venture institutions. That was WING. Everyone, subscribe to our channel right away. If you haven't subscribed it yet, then kindly go ahead and check it out. That is Offices Adda YouTube channel. Chali, let's move on to the next question. What is the purpose of GEM startup runway? To facilitate communication between startups and government purchasers, to facilitate training and support exclusively to women-led startups, to introduce a designated area for the startup to set up shop and sell for their products, or to promote entrepreneurship and innovation in SEO member states. What's going to be the answer? The answer in this case in terms of GEM setup is that it works specifically for introduction of designated area for the startup to the shop or sell their product. Matlab they give them a specific area where they can sell their things, and that particular person will also be assisted. Then everyone, let's move on to the next question. What is the primary objective of establishing innovation zones at the level of urban local bodies? To promote tourism and economic development. Next is to improve the basics, to provide tax incentive, or to enhance infrastructure for transport and communication. What's going to be the answer? With they're talking about urban local bodies, innovation zones. Actually, na they required it, but why did they require it, everyone? There's a strong reason behind it. It plays a super important role. Why? Urban local bodies required someone to be innovative so that they can be helped, because it was very difficult for them to be helped earlier. So to help them, they introduced this setup. So when the introduction was there, public servants to improve the basic public service. The public service was introduced because of this, along with delivery as well as governance. Their innovation really helped a lot for their growth. Then, what is the purpose of states startup ranking, which was started in April 2017? This is based upon states, everyone. The rank states based on their economic growth rate to assess states, territories on the intervention areas crucial for the healthy startups, to promote tourism, or to evaluate states on the agriculture. The answer is when we are talking about state startup ranking, now startup means businesses. So you were assessing the states and territories based on the intervention areas crucial to development of a healthy ecosystem. Done now? Done everyone? Chaliye. Next question. What are the 7 areas in terms of the areas which are considered states ranking framework for the state ranking? When you're putting up the state ranking, we have to find a few things, na? So what's gonna be the answer? access to education, healthcare, and infrastructure, access to market, incubation, support and from institutions. Second is access to the markets, incubation. Incubation is what? Creating a similar thing as we had in terms of the babies. The premature babies are kept in this particular incubator. Now, same thing happens with the organization. Support from the institutions, support from fostering innovation, entrepreneurship, funding, capacity enablers, or supply. Access to international trade, investment and technology. This is also a layering point because this will bring forex for the company, or assuming access to the government control diagram, the contracts, subsidiaries, as well as grants. I think the best thing that can be done is B. All these are main points. You cannot make it your goal to depend upon the government. Then everyone, what is the particular focus of PM Ayushman PMJAY Startup Grand Challenge? Promoting innovation in the textile industry, encouraging startups to develop solutions for efficient implementation, showcasing the startups in the field of medical devices and digital health, or last is supporting startups in the field of virtual reality. Everyone, what's going to be the answer? Promoting innovation in terms of textile. Then we have encouraging startups to develop solutions. What's going to be the answer, everyone? Then is showcasing the startups in terms of medical devices, or they were the ones who introduced virtual reality and augmented reality. In this case, the answer is B. Done, everyone. This is based upon the Yojana is based upon developing solution for the implementation of Ayushman Bharat, Jan Arogya Yojana. What's gonna be the next question, everyone? What is the objective of Animal Husbandry Startup Grand Challenge? To promote innovation in the field of animal husbandry, or to encourage the startups to develop solutions, or to exposure in terms of startups in Germany or National Health Authority? National Health Authority was Jan Arogya Yojana. In this case, the answer is in the field of animal husbandry. They're trying to improve that particular part further. Right? What happens if a startup product or a service obtains at least 3 favorable evaluations? Favor means beneficial. The startup will be discontinued, है ना, during market trials, or the startups will be pushed for full-time seller, or the startups will be required to conduct national, international working there. They might be having a problem, Sena, to find those good points which will be helpful. That is, the startup must be pushed to the full-time seller. If they're producing it all the time, equity can come through them, preference shares can be issued. Private equity and venture capital. What do you mean by private equity? Private equity means the money that you are giving into the business. This is the money that you are giving into the business. है ना? Because you know the other person. If you know the other person, then you don't have to spend the money at all. You have to, but at your own choice. That means capital investments which are made on this basis, they are covered under private equity. Matlab, we can actually spend money if we know each other. So what I do is, I have my company A Limited and I ask you to spend 10,000 rupees, 20,000 rupees to add it into my family. That is what is private equity. Venture capitalists, you want your business to grow, so you ask the other person to help you out. So this person helps your startup to grow further. Done? Now let's talk about this. Here comes the first question, everyone. Why does the venture capital exist why does venture capital exist, everyone? What is the basic reason that venture capital exists? The basic reason that venture capital actually exists is to provide low interest loan to new business, to invest in the businesses with the tangible assets, to address deficiencies in bank lending or high risk investment. Venture capitalists help our business to grow further. They help our business to grow. When they help our business to grow, they are helping the startups. So in this case, it is to they are helping the startups. In this case, they address the deficiencies where banks are not providing them money. So they are providing them money. And comes the next point. Why do traditional financial institutions hesitate to lend money to new business? Traditional financial businesses always lend because they are hesitating to lend because of one strong reason, that they are used to get the money for sure. They always had given money to people who will definitely pay them back. So they always has this specific faith कि कोई बात नहीं, if I give loan to someone, the person will definitely pay me back. The problem occurs when the other person doesn't pay, isn't it? If the other person doesn't pay, then the situation occurs. So when we talk about the startups, startups were not getting enough money. They were not getting enough money, so they decided to get money from people. And the people who actually helped them were venture capitalists. Venture capitalists are number one, and number one is venture capitalists, and second is angel investors. Angel investments are also helpful. Angel investors are those investors which help the business to grow further in the form that angel investors help them to grow further in the form such that whatever the business is about, है ना? Angel investors say we'll give you guidance, not only financial but also how to run your business. So in this case, when we talk about financial institutions, due to lack of interest from potential borrowers, uh, because they prefer investing in established companies, because they fear the high level of risk involved, and because of the lack of funds for lending purposes. The truth that financial institutions do not want it because the risk is too high. What if the startup fails? Shark Tank India is one of them. They help the startups to grow. These things are really important for any business to grow further, everyone. If you want growth, you really have to do this. But I don't think it's an easier task. Do you think so? Acha, what is the characteristics of venture capital investments? There are two things, venture capitalists as well as um, investors. है ना? So venture capitalist typically provides high interest rate loans to aided companies. They help those aided companies. Number two, venture capitalists have minimum involvement in the aided company operations. Or venture capitalist has a specific involvement. They have too much of involvement rather. ठीक है? Then what next do we have? Venture capitalists typically provide high interest rate loans. No, they don't. Venture capitalists have minimum involvement. Venture capitalists have an exit strategy. This is true. After a certain period of time, they have already decided that once the time is over, we'll leave the organization if we are not interested. If they're interested, then they will definitely buy that organization as well. Then comes venture capitalists take an active interest in leading the company they invest in. They take an active interest, and that is the basic reason that we look forward to. ठीक है ना? The correct answer is venture capitalists take active interest in which they want to invest. This is one of the strongest reasons that people invest in these businesses. Done. Next question. Everyone, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please hurry up and subscribe it right away, because if you haven't subscribed it, you are losing a lot of information. So it's better that if you're planning, then you should purchase our courses right away as early as possible. So that's it. Chaliye, next question. What distinguishes private equity investments from venture capital investments? Private equity investments and venture capital. Private equity is basically you find the person with whom you want to make investments with. You decide the person. When we talk about venture capitalists, these people are startups. They really want that the business should grow. So they need help of people who will give them loans and guidance as well. Private equity investments are typically have shorter lifespan. No. Actually, private equity are always looking forward towards established businesses to establish them more. While venture capitalist is an open book. He's like, Acha, if we can give growth, na, I'll help them in terms of growth further. There's definitely a difference in that. Private equity focuses on businesses at their early stages. Private equity investment involves the debt, and which is uncommon in venture capitalists. Private equity investors have minimal involvement. The point is that they are always involving, they may involve debt. They would always give debts as well, but the venture capitalists are not providing debts. They are actually providing you guidance and providing you funds. ठीक है? What is the characteristics that is unique to venture capitalists? Venture capitalists are always ready. These people are always ready for their business growth. They typically have an exit strategy and they normally have an exit strategy. They primarily invest in established business. They focus on restructuring the finances and operations of the investing business, or they prioritize good corporate governance over management capability. In this case, the correct answer would be, when we look at them, they are always ready for the business and normally they leave the organization within 3 to 7 years. But if they find it useful, then they won't do this. Okay? That's also one specific rule. That once the organization grows enough, then you leave the organization altogether. Which of the following is not a primary form of venture capital financing based on the stages of business development? Business development, finance, these people are really helpful for the business to grow. So in this case, what's going to be the answer? Financing for the initial investments, initial stages of business, financing for expansion. Then third point is acquisition financing or financing for public relations. If I look at my business and the business growth, now the venture capital financing is really important. Why is it so important? It is so important for the growth because now when you are trying to take loans, sometimes you just can't take loans, and banks won't really help you. But you can get loans if you are getting loans through the specific area of a business further. Through, if it is not, you're not getting the loans and all, then you can go on to these venture capitalists, convince them that you have a good business, and then yeah, there's a growth. When we talk about which is not a primary form of the venture capital financing, the primary form is basically financing for public relations. They don't provide for PR, they provide for the business. Next point. Which step of in obtaining venture capital funds involves a detailed evaluation and rating of proposals? Everyone? Which step in obtaining venture capital funding involve a detailed evaluation? Beginning of the transaction, screening and shortlisting, final deal, or post evaluation? I think post investments we are done with it already. Then you don't wait for that point. And the first thing that is basically final deal negotiations. When we talk about detailed evaluation rating the proposals, you give them rate and you work on all these things when into the final deal. Okay? Post investment related activities are not done, but rest everything is done. Then It is finally negotiations. What is the purpose of bridge financing, everyone? What is the purpose of bridge financing? But basically, to get a bigger loan, you need to wait. To get a bigger loan, you have to wait for uh, some time. So during that time, you need some loans. That is a smaller loan to fund product development and marketing, to fund marketing and early sales, to fund the process of becoming a public company, or to fund the transition to public trading company through an IPO. Everyone, to fund the when we're talking about bridge financing, it is basically the mid time when we really want to get the IPO. Before we're getting our IPO, we need some funding. That is what we do. Okay. Chaliye, that's it for the day, everyone. Before I end my session, everyone, I hope you have gone through our courses, and if you haven't, Zeal and Josh patches here. If you are planning to purchase them, buy them as early as possible. But not only Zeal and Josh patches here, but our double validity on our Mahapack is also going on. Buy the Mahapack, you don't even have to worry about your optional subject. All the 4 subjects plus the optional subject plus test series, mini marathon, bilingual, English medium, ebooks, test series, everything included. That means if you pay 6,500 right away, then after that you don't even have to pay a single penny. But to get 6,500, please download the app first. Okay, that is super important. Chaliye, and that's it for the day. We'll be meeting tomorrow. Bye bye. Take care. And please share the session, everyone, if you like it. And at the same time, like and subscribe to our channel and share the session. Take care.